Hello again, everybody. So, I woke up and I checked my phone, and my sister says, "Hey, how do you repot your Venus flytraps?" And she sent me this picture of the flytrap that I'd given her, and in this beautiful setup in a jar, like an aquarium or like a terrarium, but it's still in the original little pot. So, what we do to transplant our Venus flytraps is we're going to take, I use sphagnum moss, long fiber sphagnum moss. And you want to go through your moss, and you want to get rid of all your leaf litter and sticks, because they will mold. But what you do, this long fiber sphagnum moss has been pre-soaked. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it at the bottom of our pot here. Now, this pot, it has drainage holes on the bottom. You want these in well-drained pots. And the saucer might be a little bit small for this, but this fits in perfectly there. Which means that saucer's not going to be able to hold much water. So you want a saucer that's a little bit bigger. But this will work for all intents and purposes today. So, you get your pot, and I would say take your other pot that holds the plant that you're going to put in here, and kind of get a feel for how much on the bottom you're going to need to fill there. So, once you have that idea, take your long fiber sphagnum moss, and you don't want to pack it in there like tightly, but you want to make sure everything is pushed down so that it can siphon water up to the roots while they're still growing down there. And I think that's about enough. Let's measure. Oh, nope, still need a little bit more. And you want it to sit in there just a little under the lip of your pot. That way there, when you go to water it from the top, the lip will catch all of the water and you won't have any runoff. But you don't want it so low that the transplant does nothing to give the roots more space to grow downwards. But that's why we do it this way. And I'm feeling pretty good with that. So, now you want to start filling in your sides. You want to put some moss in there and then push this stuff more toward the side instead of downwards. That way there it creates a little bowl. Remember what we said about sticks. You just want to get rid of those and leaf litter. You can get a sphagnum moss with as little leaf litter or as little sticks in there as possible. That is your high quality sphagnum moss. That's what makes sphagnum moss high quality, is little to none leaf litter and sticks. So this, you can see, is not the best, quality sphagnum moss. However, when it comes to nutrients in the sphagnum moss, you don't have to worry about that because it has very, very little, which is why we use it. We don't need any nutrients in the substrate that we're putting our Venus flytrap in, and most other carnivorous plants as well, because if you've done any research on carnivorous plants, you will know that they have developed their carnivatory, I'm making up words on that one, their carnivorousness. That one sounds more legit, but probably still made up. Anyways, they develop the ability to eat bugs and small animals in some cases because of the soil is poor in nutrients where they are native to. And so their roots are super duper great at just drinking water. And they get their nutrients from light and eating bugs and stuff. So I have, you know what, let's measure. I think I have to get a little bit more moss and soak it. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So we got some more moss soaked here. Took just about 2-3 minutes to go through it a little bit and pull out a lot of the big sticks and leaf litter that I've seen. And how we can continue doing what we were doing. Alright. So, Venus flytraps are native to the Carolinas. And I believe that's the only place in the world that they grow in the wild. And the ground in the swamps that they grow in, I believe is peat moss, sphagnum moss kind of type environment. But Venus flytraps are an endangered plant in the wild, which is one of the reasons I chose to start growing mine, because I have a weirdness for exotic plants that eat stuff or that you can eat. We're getting there, but it's not quite there yet. You want to make sure you keep that bowl shape in the middle there, so it's really super easy on the next step. Otherwise, you'll be fighting your moss both in the new pot and in the old pot. Well, that's around the plant still. So you want to keep that bowl shape in there. While you're putting this in, you want to keep an eye out for any leaf litter that you can remove. It's important that we do this, that we remove the leaf litter and the sticks as much as you can, because they will mold and it'll cause a plethora of problems. That's gonna be great. It's got a little bit more in there. And once you get that nice little lip there, a bowl shape, it's gonna let us have about an inch or two worth of growth in there for the roots. Now, here's the tricky part. Well, the trickiest part, which is not very tricky. But, so, I have no idea how I'm going to capture this on the film real quick. Let me get set up. I'll be right back. Alright, we are ready. So, you take your pot, and I like to put my fingers in like 3 or 4 different spots on the soil. Let's see here. So, word like that. That way there, when you do this, if it decides to slip out, you already have it. Odds are, it's not going to slip out the first... Holy cow, mine did. So, let's pretend that it doesn't just easily do that. What you can do is gently crush the pot a bit while pulling up on it. You can see you're holding that with your fingers on the peat moss or whichever you're taking it out of. That way there, you're causing zero pressure on any part of that plant. Also, terrible idea to leave it out here like this and explain stuff, because if it's a bigger plant, there's going to be roots going all the way through here, and roots don't like light. So you want to keep them out of light as much as possible. It'll help reduce the transplant shock. So once you got your plant here, you just want to quickly flip it back over into that hole, into that bowl. And that's why you want to keep that bowl shape as good as you can, because if not, then it's going to make you have to dig through it while holding your plant upside down to get that bowl shape back. And after just a little bit of readjustment here with the fingers, we have repotted Venus flytrap. That is the end product. You have that little lip there, so make sure no water runs off when you water. This saucer needs to be just a little bit bigger, maybe about an inch off of in diameter around the pot, so you have an inch overhang if the pot's in the middle of it. But other than that, you know, put them back in his wherever you're gonna have them, and enjoy your Venus flytrap. So that guy's gonna grow into this pot. Now they like to grow their roots long and down, and I'd say probably in about 2 or 3 months he's gonna be sprawling out in that area, which is gonna be really nice for him. Alright, that is how we repot Venus flytrap. Cleanup comes next. That's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, have a great one.